Nigeria is a nation of over 200 million people, rich in culture, history, and diversity. But across several states, tensions between local farmers and migrating herdsmen have continued to create fear, conflict, and uncertainty. Today, we examine the case of Sunday Jackson, a local community member whose encounter with suspected Fulani herdsmen sparked debate on security, self-defense, and the role of the law. What really happened? What does the law say? And where do both sides stand? According to community accounts, Sunday Jackson was at his farmland on a quiet morning when he noticed cattle straying into his crops. This wasn't the first time. Weeks earlier, he had reported similar incidents to community elders and local authorities. But on this particular day, a confrontation broke out. According to court records, the incident happened during an argument between Sunday Jackson and a Fulani herdsman whose cattle had allegedly entered Jackson's farm. Sunday claimed the herdsman confronted him aggressively. He insisted that the herdsman was armed. He also stated that during the struggle, he used a weapon to defend himself. But the herdsman died from the injuries. When Sunday was arrested, he told investigators he had no intention to kill, only to protect himself from what he believed was immediate danger. However, the prosecution presented a different picture. They argued that Sunday had other options, that he acted with excessive force, and that the killing went beyond lawful self-defense. At the trial, the court examined three major questions. 1. Was Sunday Jackson under real, immediate threat? The law requires that self-defense is only valid if the threat is unavoidable and life-threatening. The court ruled that Sunday failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that his life was in immediate danger. 2. Did he use more force than necessary? The principle of reasonable force is central to self-defense. The court held that the force used by Sunday was disproportionate based on the evidence. 3. Did he have the option to escape or seek help? In Nigerian law, self-defense may fail if the accused had a reasonable chance to retreat. The court concluded that Sunday could have avoided lethal force. Because of these findings, he was convicted of culpable homicide punishable with death. Sunday Jackson appealed the decision, arguing, he acted purely in self-defense. The confrontation was sudden. He feared for his life. The herdsman initiated the aggression. His lawyers also argued that the court failed to consider the background of farmer-herder violence in the region and the fear many farmers live with. But the Court of Appeal upheld the judgment. Their reasoning was clear. Self-defense must be strictly proven. The burden was on Sunday, not the prosecution. The evidence did not sufficiently support immediate danger. The killing was avoidable, and the force used remained excessive. This decision triggered public reactions across Nigeria, some supporting the rule of law, others feeling the judgment ignored the realities of rural insecurity. Under Nigerian criminal law, self-defense is valid if the threat is immediate, the attack is unlawful, the defender uses only necessary, proportionate force. There is no safe option to flee. Self-defense fails if the accused strikes a fatal blow after the threat ends. The force used is clearly excessive. The defender had the option to escape. There is evidence of retaliation rather than protection. The courts determined that Sunday's actions fell into the second category. The case of Sunday Jackson is more than a courtroom story. It is a reflection of Nigeria's painful struggle with farmer-herder conflicts, fear, and the limits of self-defense under the law. While the judgment stands, the controversy surrounding it continues to raise louder questions. How do we protect rural communities? How do we ensure fair trials in emotionally charged cases? And how can the law balance justice with the realities on the ground? This is the story of Sunday Jackson, a story still being debated today.